Connecting.
Fresh from San Diego.
Fresh from San Diego.
Or a little withered from San Diego.
Withered from San Diego. Somewhat upright from San Diego.
Well, you did all the driving.
Well, details. With
a little detour to In-N-Out Burger.
Just one.
They're not paying us for that plug. But
the line that was almost as long as the drive home.
Yes.
If you are in California, or I believe there's one in Nevada.
One in California.
And I believe there's one in Arizona and one in Nevada. You can go to In-N-Out. In-N-Out is rather popular here, a bit famous. And the thing about them, they're great burgers, and they're made of real food, which is lovely, and good French fries and all that.
And the French fries are made fresh.
Everything is fresh, but the lines are almost like a joke. So yes, we stopped to get food on the way home, and honestly, I think the line to wait took almost as long as the drive home. But we did it, and we're here, and we're home.
We're here with you guys.
We are coming to you from this is a terrible thing for me to say. I didn't even know he was still alive.
Oh.
Did you know he was still alive?
Yeah.
Well, he's not anymore.
Okay.
What a talented man.
You're thinking of someone else.
Who are you? Who am I? Who the songwriter? That's who I'm thinking of. Oh, but that's the same name. Forgive me for making no sense right now.
Yeah.
1 second. So who's that guy?
I don't know.
You don't know? Now I'm even more confused. We're coming to you today from my dad's office because it is on the same level as his room. So it's a bit easier for him to move around up here. I will tell you, this champion sitting next to me, his first time leaving the house, since all of the stuff with his leg was to go to Comic-Con. And so Wednesday was his first time leaving the house, first time being in a car.
I was sort of poured into or deposited in the car. Carefully
shoved into the vehicle. And then we got to San Diego, and we had Craig says In Bed with Leonard has been canceled after 2 episodes. Not canceled, just migrated, Craig. We migrated. And he got in that car. We drove down to San Diego. We got him into the hotel, and he used a wheelchair. I was pushing him in his wheelchair all weekend.
She's the one that really worked.
Well, but we did it, and you did it. You did it. You survived Comic-Con. Only 6-ish weeks after everything else. So I think it's pretty cool. I also like that my hair has decided to do a sort of an anime thing. Look, It says gravity. Absolutely not. You're not going to be able to see it from some angles. But if you're lucky enough, you'll see this very weird thing happening. This is called Comic-Con exhaustion.
It's a new panel this year.
Yes.
My good buddy Mark Evanier, who is one of the stalwarts of the Comic-Con in San Diego, and who was doing 19. He was moderating 19
panels.
Said, hey, let's see when we do something. I said, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And he said, I said, what should we do? He said, well, we should do what we do. We just talk about cartoonists we've met and comedians we have met.
And actors. It was really just the two of you talking. It really was. It was the two of you talking about sort of your favorite stories and experiences in front of a packed room of people who were so thrilled to hear it. And at the end, Evanier said to everybody that his goal is to bring back more of these kinds of conversations at Comic-Con. Because he feels like, and I don't disagree, well, what he said was, we're not trying to sell you anything. Yeah. So many of the panels are trying to sell you something. And look, the reality with film festivals, Comic-Cons, any of these sorts of things is that they change. Everything changes with time. And so in some cases where it used to be more art-based, now, Mabel going by, there is more of a, hey, we have this coming out, buy this, subscribe to this. And so it was nice. It was, hi, Mabel. Hi, Maple.
Oh, you like that's good.
You like it up there? It was nice, I think, for people to hear just a real conversation about those kind of folks. And Mark's one of the ones that helped start Comic-Con in the first place. So, hi, Mabel. What are we doing? Did you just miss us? We were gone. We left the dogs because we're the worst. So now I think they're a little needy, which is fine.
We had a dog sitter. We didn't.
Yes, no, they didn't. No, we left them alone in the house and said, good luck. That would have been interesting. Yeah. See, Tom Lehrer, the greatest mathematician, songwriter in history.
Wasn't who you were pointing
to? Yes, it was.
Oh.
That's why I was saying. That's why I was saying that's the name and the face I was pointing to. It said Tom Lehrer. The world is not as funny a place.
I did not know that he had passed away.
But that's why I should.
Sorry, I was looking at the wrong name.
Sorry,
I was looking at the wrong name on the screen at the time. Because
that's anyway.
The great lyricist Alan Bergman passed away last week.
Yes. No. What I was showing you was the thing that said Tom Lehrer has passed away and the world is not as funny a place, with a picture of his face.
Right. He's spending Hanukkah.
R.I.P. Tom Lehrer is what I showed there. Mm-hmm. I know. Well, so P.S. That's what we were looking at the beginning, and my dad was a little confused. Tom Lehrer, one of the funniest and especially funny because the music doesn't age. The lyrics in some cases do, only if they're specific, because certain things may not exist the way that they used to. But in general, he just some of the funniest stuff you've ever heard. And
clever, witty.
And do you know one of his great
and intellectual?
Yeah. Well, one of his greatest fans is Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe
who does a number of his songs and perfectly. So yeah, that's what I was looking at is he's passed away, and that's what I was saying. I didn't even realize he was still alive.
I don't think he put all the songs in the public domain.
Yeah. That sounds like a thing he would do.
Yeah.
My Zelda.
No, that's Alan Sherman.
I know, but this is the kind of thing that I think of. These are the songs that, again, when it falls under the category of why do I not have friends, it goes to all the songs that I grew up loving that my parents taught me. Pollution is his, though.
Yes.
Pollution, a fantastic song. Certainly growing up in Los Angeles, an apt one. Hello again, great movie Police. Hello to you, Aiden. Have you ever thought of doing a Zoom call with Tim Curry for your movie podcast? So we do most of our interviews at this point via Zoom, which I don't like because I miss being in a space with people. I really prefer that experience.
That's selfishly speaking. We can get a good interview on Zoom. Yeah. But
it's just different.
Have a more fully rounded.
Yeah. I really like sitting together and having these conversations with people in person. But it is what it is. Tim Curry doesn't do a ton of interviews anymore.
No.
Because, he had a stroke many years ago and he's had different issues. So he doesn't do that as much. And that's definitely one I would want to try to do in person, because especially if someone is struggling to a degree, you want to be there to be able to really have the conversation.
Right.
But he is a legend. And he was just at the pub. There's a pub near our house that my husband pretty much lives at. And he was there the other day. And I just think that's about as cool as it gets.
And I got to work with him.
You did. Yes.
One unforgettable day in my life where I was asked to portray myself on an episode of a Warner Brothers TV animation series called Freakazoid.
Which was so good.
And he was the guest star.
One of
the guest stars that week. And they did it like a radio show where we were all present.
Which if you don't know, is rare. Much of the time, animated shows are recorded with one person in a booth. And in some cases, and it happens a lot with movies, the casts don't even meet each other. Many times nowadays, it's a little different with shows. Sometimes with shows that go on, they'll have a chance to do interviews together, go out together. But a lot of times with movies, they don't meet each other until premieres.
Yeah.
Which is wild when you think about,
junkets,
it's wild when you think about the fact that they're not in person because the timing of it. And that actually led me to start thinking about the editing of animation in terms of the voices, because I hadn't thought about how insanely difficult it has to be to edit together however many voices to make it sound like they are responding on time.
Yeah.
It's an art form.
Which is why when Pixar did Monsters Incorporated,
yeah,
they actually planned to have John Goodman and Billy Crystal together.
Yes.
For some of them, so there could be the absolute genuine spontaneity.
And it's one of my favorites. It's one of my absolute favorites. Speaking of musicians in heaven, did we mention that rock impresario Ozzy Osbourne passed away recently, along with great jazz Chuck Mangione and wrestling great Hulk Hogan? It's been a week. Them, and then Ricky's mentioning Malcolm Jamal Warner. It was not a good week for that.
No. So when you lose somebody as individual, as say Hulk Hogan, he doesn't get replaced.
No. And look, it's hard. It's really hard because Hulk Hogan decided to make some not great choices later in his life.
Yeah.
Even earlier in his life. Same with Ozzy Osbourne. And a lot of people have been talking about both of them for the negatives as well. And the way I sort of look at it as, you're allowed to feel however you feel. But you also have to let people feel the way they feel. And so for a lot of folks, Hulk Hogan was kind of a hero. So I understand that, they're sad. Similarly with Ozzy Osbourne.
I'm just reading
Dame Cleo Lane.
Oh, I was still living at home before I met your mother. When there was a jazz station, FM station in New York called WRVR, affiliated, I think, with the Riverside Church, RVR. And he started playing recordings by a singer I'd never heard of named Cleo Lane, who was British and who had like Julie Andrews, a freakish vocal range, and an incredible intonation and jazz sense. And he got me and a lot of other listeners, I'm sure, all hopped up on Cleo Lane. So when she came to give her first concert at Carnegie Hall, not only did I go, but I sold a local newspaper I wrote for the idea of an article. So I got to meet her and her husband and music director John Dankworth, who I had heard of. And so I got to spend a little bit of time with them. Then years later, when they played Las Vegas had for a short amount of time an actual jazz nightclub. Called the Four Queens, I think. And I went
the only reason you would go to Vegas.
Well, it was the NatP convention.
That's
why we were there.
Yeah.
But I took Richard and Carol Liebner. I said, "You're going to have a great time," and we had a ball. And they were just fantastic.
What a wonderful memory.
Cleo Lane. Godspeed. What else can I say?
Love Cleo's cover of the Bread song "If" on the Muppet Show. This is one of those wild things. Something like the Muppet Show, as silly as it is, people are so excited to be on it. Similarly with Sesame Street, that you get these really fantastic performances, and a lot of times special material. Sesame Street's big for that, doing special material, and Muppet Show was too. But you see these really fantastic performances because they're doing something that they know is special and different, and they live forever.
Yeah,
they live forever.
Exactly.
So very, very special.
Yes, Frank Santopadre has a new podcast. I listened to it in the wee hours of this morning when I couldn't sleep. And it's kind of an extension of the show he did with Gilbert Gottfried.
Colossal.
The Amazing Colossal podcast. This one is called Fun for All Ages.
Introducing Fun for All Ages with Frank Santopadre.
Give it a listen.
Yeah.
It's about pop culture, and especially if you're a baby boomer or a baby boomer adjacent, even.
Hi, I'm adjacent to a baby boomer. Mel Torm and Cleo Lane were pretty good duet partners. Yeah. Well, I will tell you, again, things that leave me lonely but make me happy. The night before leaving for Comic-Con, I always like to make playlists music playlists in the car, especially if my parents are going to be in the car with me. I want to find stuff they'll like. And we tend to go for the Beatles. We do a lot of the Beatles, never a bad time. We love jazz. So we've got our Louis Armstrong, our Ella Fitzgerald, Andrew Sisters, always Andrew Sisters, must. But I found out that one of my favorite albums from Mel Torm, which I have not been able to get online, and this is one of those frustrating things that led to a whole conversation actually about, I don't think young people understand that they don't own things. They don't own them. When you download something or you save it or something like that, you don't physically have it. And my fear, and this is in part because I'm raised by people who like having things, is that once something is gone, it is gone.
Yep.
So there are songs that I can no longer listen to because they don't exist anywhere. And obviously it's going to be harder and harder finding CD players and everything. I mean, we have all of it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this, Mel Torm is my favorite singer, raised right. And his sons, by the way, are also really, really good. Mm-hmm. They have voices very similar to him.
Steve March Torm.
Really beautiful voices, and they do their data service. But there's an album called Day in the Life of Bonnie and Clyde, and it's finally on iTunes. My dad has the actual record of it. Unfortunately, I can't play that record in the car. I could try, but the skipping and everything else, plus we got a car seat back there, might be difficult. It's available on iTunes, and I got it, and so we listened to that, and
it's all songs
my Mel Torm favorites.
Bonnie and Clyde adjacent again.
Bonnie and Clyde adjacent.
And he even wrote an original song for the album. It's kind of forgettable, but
how dare you?
But he does some.
How dare you, sir?
Wonderful songs.
I love them.
With I wish I knew who produced that album.
Yeah.
If anybody does know, please let me know.
But if you never listened to that album, it's got Annie Doesn't Live Here Anymore. All just so many. I think, and it comes out here, is probably one of the best pop songs I've ever heard. Mm-hmm. But just perfect. Do you collect records? Yes. Well, I wouldn't say you don't really collect them so much anymore.
No.
But you have a collection.
I have my accumulation.
Yeah. Yeah. Kevin saying, I wish there were a really good biography of Mel Torm. I really enjoyed his autobiography.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
I got to meet Mel Torm, and it was kind of a lesson in don't meet your heroes. Not that he was a bad guy or anything even remotely like that.
Yeah.
But he had his peccadillos, as do we all.
To which I will say, you keep them to yourself because he is perfect, and you leave that man alone.
Yeah. Oh, well, as an entertainer,
yes,
peerless.
Yeah.
He used to come to New York about once a year.
That's what you and Mommy saw him a number of times, and you and Mommy saw him a number of times.
He went at the Maisonette, the St. Regis Hotel, the Maisonette, and just phenomenal. And he thought so much of his audience that he wouldn't repeat material from last year. Mm. He would write new medleys or arrangements, and always had something new to offer.
If you didn't know, my dad is a jazz nut. I would say the only thing that comes sort of, I'd put them next to each other. Your love of jazz and your love of film are pretty damn close. And we've talked about that before, but it is one of your great loves and passions, and pass that on to me. I love jazz music.
Two things. One is, when we're done, don't do this now. When we're done, go to YouTube and type in Mel Torm, John, Jon.
Lambert, Hendricks, and Moss.
Yeah.
John Hendricks.
John Hendricks. They sing a song called "Down for Double."
Down for double. Yes, it's a great song.
And they're both great scatting.
Oh, it's like the highest level of jazz, of just perfection.
Then
the name of the album is A Day in the Life of Bonnie and Clyde. And I just love those songs. I love it so much. Mason is saying, okay, jazz question. I'm from New Orleans. What do you think of Al Hirt?
Well, I liked Al Hirt well enough when I was a kid, but I never heard him in person. I never heard him in his native New Orleans. I only heard the sort of the pop music Al heard, where they had him do gimmicky songs, some of which got on the charts. So I can't really judge him. I'm sure he must have been good to cut the mustard in New Orleans. But I wish I had a better sampling of him. Mel Torm also had something of an on and off film career. He's in a surprising number of movies.
He's in one of our favorite musicals.
Good News.
Good News.
He's part of the trio that is Mel Torm. Now I got myself in trouble. Peter Lawford. And the other guy.
And the other guy. Who is the other guy? Who are you thinking of? Who is you thinking of? Here, I help
doing
you.
Kay Thompson's special material lyrics to Ladies Man. Be a Ladies Man.
No. Who are you thinking of?
Ray McDonald.
Ray McDonald. There you go. Old Ray McDonald had a farm. There you go. Mel Torm in The Comedian on TV. Yeah. So I just, I think that, look, the fact that he had his nickname was the Velvet Fog. I'm going to put it out there. I don't know many better nicknames because the idea that you go by the Velvet Fog,
Victoria,
pretty great.
Harry Anderson said, I said, I'm Mel's #1 fan. Harry Anderson said, nope, I am.
Hey.
And so we were competition in that. Here's a story. Here's a cautionary tale. Okay. Whenever I'm at an event and I have an opportunity to meet somebody I've never met before, but like or admire, I try to have something interesting to say instead of just hi or hi. I've always liked your work, and no one minds being told that. But I try to come up.
Or in the case of Keely Smith, you just went, oh.
Right. So I was at an event, and there was Frank Duvall. Now, Frank Duvall was an experienced and well-respected arranger, conductor, composer. He composed the scores for almost all of Robert Aldridge's movies, from the big ones like The Dirty Dozen down to the tiny indie films that he made. But
get some water. Thank you.
Frank Duvall had a second career as a comedic actor, and his specialty was deadpan. And he played Happy Kine, as in Happy Kine and his Mirth Makers, on Fernwood Tonight, which later became America Tonight, with Fred Willard and I'm getting it backwards, but Martin Mull and Fred Willard.
Martin Mull and Frank Willard, yeah.
And he was great on that show. Perfect setup for him. But I remembered that he arranged a very ambitious album of Porgy and Bess for Mel Torm and Cleo Lane. Wow. So I went to pay him a compliment on that album. He said, oh, they did such a terrible job of mixing. I've never been so upset. And he wouldn't get off that note. That was it.
Whoops.
It was like taking a knife and
reopening
the wound.
Yeah. Whoopsie daisy,
Yeah.
I think we say. To film a little bit, May's asking, any thoughts on Superman, Fantastic Four, or Eddington? Well, again, my dad's first time leaving the house was this week to go to Comic-Con. He has seen nothing that is recent since going into the hospital. So again, he went to the hospital June 3rd. First time leaving the house is last week. Or this week still. But hopefully, because he is doing a lot better, we'll be able to get you to a movie theater so you can catch up on that stuff.
I'm okay from here up.
Yeah, right. If we were just working with Leonard, from here, from what you see, great. Doing great. The waist down, not as good.
Yeah.
But soon, hopefully. Hey, Jesse and Leonard. Hi. Have you seen Fantastic Four Steps? Fantastic Four Steps. Four First Steps, sorry. Fantastic Four First Steps? Am I saying it right? Is that a thing?
I think it is.
I don't know what it is, but it's a thing. Also, I love the 1960s futuristic style of the film. It kind of reminds me of vintage Tomorrowland. I don't know what that is. You must somewhere in there.
Yeah.
It's all in there somewhere.
Harrison, I had the delight of seeing Bobby Short in person at the Cafe Carlisle on several occasions. I had a female friend, which is say not a girlfriend, but a friend, fellow reporter at NYU on our daily newspaper, which was then called the Washington Square Journal. It's called something else now. And she said, "You want to go Dutch and just blow our savings and go to see Bobby Short?" I said, "Sure." So we went together and got a good table. And the Cafe Carlisle is in the Hotel Carlisle, which is on Madison Avenue in New York City. And the cabaret room.
I'm gonna thank you, Josh. Fantastic Four: First Steps is the name of the new Fantastic Four movie.
Okay.
I didn't know it was a whole, and now I do.
Okay.
Thank you.
We had such a great time, and not only was he a great entertainer, but he worked the room. He came around to all the table to the end of his first set just to say hello and exchange a little small talk. And then I took your mother, spectacular night in New York, the kind I could never recreate, nor could I afford to. Pulling in favors galore. We went to see Cherry Jones in a Broadway revival of The Heiress, the great Henry James play. And she was just fantastic, and the play was great. And at Curtain, we found out what time it ended, we had a car waiting for us to drive us uptown to the Carlisle, where we had a table waiting to see and hear Bobby Short. Those were the days.
Yes, Alan, this is a Viewmaster and a slightly schmutzy one because it sits here. It's from Finding Nemo.
It's the packaging.
And we just thought it was so cool. So, and I have to say, it's pretty amazing that my child has not taken it apart. Because again, Grandpa has a lot of really cool toys, and Daisy's not allowed to touch them, which you can imagine goes really, really well. Hi, so good to see you're doing better, Leonard. Just wondering what your thoughts are about the new Kiss of the Spider Woman with Jennifer Lopez. We'll see. We'll see.
No
is kind of the only answer.
No reason why it shouldn't be good.
I know, Victoria, you keep asking thoughts about the Sound of Music debut on TCM. I didn't know it wasn't on TCM. Why would it not? I mean, obviously it means that they weren't able to get it.
Yeah.
But it plays on TV a lot.
Yeah.
But TCM couldn't show it?
Well, they didn't have access to
it. No, I understand. I'm just saying. I'm sure they're thrilled. It's also one of the upcoming Fathom events.
Yes.
Which I am excited about. I really want to go. I want to see if I can figure out a time.
In the book, or for the book that we just completed called Family Film.
We didn't choose the name of the new book, and we're both struggling to remember its full title, which is a bit wordy. Family Film
Night Menu.
Family Movie Night Menus. Right? Family Movie Night Menu.
Yeah.
It's why I don't like the title.
It'll trip off the tongue next year.
Yeah. Oh, wait till you hear how fast we say. Family Movie Night Menus, recipes and films for unforgettable times together.
Yep.
It's a long title.
Where we've chosen 25 movies, ranging from Charlie Chaplin all the way up to Harry Potter. And I wrote an essay about each movie. And I worked hard on those essays, and I think they turned out pretty well.
We worked hard on those essays, sir.
Well, I did the first
draft.
We
worked hard on those essays,
sir. I worked on the first draft, and then you made them better.
Sure.
Well, it's true.
I wrote some of them with you.
Yes, you did.
I can already see where this is going.
A mistake I'll never make.
You can already see where this is going.
Oh, dear.
Troublemaker.
No.
Josh says he's not going to Kiss of the Spider Woman for J-Lo. It's for Diego Luna. You know I'm right there with you, my love. Right there with you. Da 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 da.
What kind of food goes with the Sound of Music? That's what we were trying to think of appropriate food for certain movies, like The Kid with Jackie Coogan and Charlie Chaplin. Little Jackie Coogan actually makes pancakes. You see him do it on a hot grill, and so that was an easy choice. But for the Sound of Music, I called my friend Stephen Smith, who's done all of the behind-the-scenes stuff for the Sound of Music on home video, the Blu-ray reissue, the reissue, etc. I said, "What food for the Sound of Music?" And he said, "Schnitzel with noodles." Duh. Anyway.
Not to contradict, but that was another one that we came up with. But hey, whatever works. We are going to have to work on this before you promote this book next year.
Apparently so. Oh dear.
I'm the one that made all the food. I'm the one that did all the recipes.
She did the heavy lifting.
So on that side of things. But yeah.
What are you proud of?
It's going to be training.
Which one are you proudest of?
Oh, I don't know.
Pretend we're doing a plug.
No, I know. Well, so again, I will think about these things when I actually have to say them with swiftness. I do love the pasta black as my soul, which I came up with the dish for Adam's family. And basically it's black noodles, not squid ink, but just black noodles. And it looks really ridiculous. And I just think it'll be fun to make. Yeah, all of them were the idea was just to have it be something that would be fun for you, to do with your family. And then you watch these movies. So yeah, it was all a good time. I saw One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest at the Theater for Fathom events with Leonard's intro. It's one of the greatest. It's one of the greatest movies. Jack and Louise give some of the greatest performances ever filmed. Well, it is amazing when you realize how often certain things get referenced. That's what blows my mind. Nurse Ratched gets referenced constantly.
Yeah.
It's a pop culture thing. People will refer, oh, well, that's Nurse Ratched over there, and they'll throw it in on all kinds of shows, as obviously medical shows, but anything else. So the idea that this character has been referenced, and then of course it was one of Ryan Murphy's, right, Josh, that did Ratched. Was that one of his? Had the show that was just called that. So yeah, I love any time people come up with those kind of lines, because I realize that half the audience is not going to hear it and the other half is going to go, that's clever.
And it introduced us to so many people who became, if not famous, and at least well known. Well, famous is Danny DeVito.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Christopher Lloyd and all those character guys in there. I'm losing Rene Auberjonois and others. Our brains are fried from Comic-Con. You will forgive us if you can't tell already.
Our brains are fried from Comic-Con.
Are somewhat fried. This needlework pillow, by the way, is not homemade. It's my favorite line from my favorite movie, which is Casablanca.
I was misinformed.
And this was actually made and sold by the Warner Brothers stores, which was one of many reasons
so many good stores.
The Warner Brothers stores.
They had so much good stuff.
And catalog. They had so much great stuff. I have another one that says, "What a dump."
I love it. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's quite incredible how often The Wizard of Oz gets referenced in 1980s movies. There's so much. Again, it's kind of, it knocks your socks off when you think about how many things get referenced on a regular basis that a lot of people won't even know the reference, what it's from anymore. They may know what the line is. They may know the line, but they may have no idea where it came from. We were actually talking about this yesterday. I was saying I wanted to know when the word junk food was coined, because there are just certain things that I think about and I go, I mean, now something is a universal, but when did they decide? And part of why I was thinking about that is I just read an article about how people talk about being gaslit. You're gaslighting me. And I don't know when, because it's just a few years ago that suddenly became a thing everybody was saying.
Yeah.
And I just, you want to figure out who was the first person that used it. And then everyone went, yes, this is one we're keeping and everyone's going to use it.
And that was the subject of a lawsuit when Jack Benny wanted to do a parody of Gaslight on his early television show, not radio, but his early TV show in the 50s. And I guess MGM, which had made the movie, thought that was not fair use. And it caused quite a tumult.
I wish the online Warner store had as much stuff. It lacks plush dolls. Well, I mean, I do have to say, if you have a chance to go to Warner Brothers, the studio, and do the studio tour, they have a store there that is the stuff of dreams.
Pretty nice store.
There's so much stuff. Obviously, there's a ton of Friends merchandise and stuff like that. We don't care about that so much, but they do have a lot of other things that I think are just so fun. And the tour is really neat. I recommend it. If you're somebody that wants a real
tour guides are so enthusiastic.
They really are.
And they train them well. They're pretty well informed.
And there's a classic film tour that they do, and then there's sort of the regular one, and both are great. They do such a good idea. My nephew has a DVD collection of quotable classics. That's all you need, really. That's all you need. It is, again, it's wild just because, again, so there are things like we see on signs, post no bills. How funny that something that has such an old phrase still applies. You'll see it on the post no bills.
Yeah.
I don't even think people know what the word post means anymore. I mean, it's funny because people will, it's sort of like, so at Comic-Con, for example, a lot of people do have cameras with them as opposed to just phones or iPads or any of that. People will have actual cameras. Well, I still know how to use those. And we have people sometimes, and it can be funny. They'll go, "Do you need me to show you?" I go, "No, I'm old enough. I know how a camera works. I'm good." Because there are a lot of people who do not have cameras, have never held a real camera before. And just kind of terrifying.
And yet have been exposed to the sound of the shutter.
Yes. Well, this always gets into this. A shutter click, the fact that your iPhone makes a shutter click noise when you take a photo. Do people even know what that is? Or do they just think that's the iPhone camera sound? We always say that they still use a tripod camera to signify film.
Yeah.
Look, when you're doing charades, you still do this, because how the hell else are you going to tell someone it's a movie? Like that's what blows my mind. A camera, you still do this. If someone's saying take a picture, you still go that and say take a picture. Most people don't do that anymore. They don't even know how. How wild that you still need these things. This iconography.
There's no visual iconography for video.
No.
Or digital.
Yeah, too complicated.
Yeah.
But yeah, to say, I think it's wild. Have you been on the Walt Disney Studios studio tour that D23 does? I'm thinking about doing one soon. We spend so much time on that lot. I've never done a tour. I just know it really, really well because I've grown. It's one of the lots I grew up on. Mm-hmm. So I just love wandering, and I love staring at everything, and I love the artwork that they have up. And it has changed so little over the years.
Yeah,
which adds to the magic.
1940.
It adds to the magic of it.
Tail end of the Art Deco era, and the man who designed it, Kem Weber, Kem Weber. There's a book now, I think, about him with plentiful examples of his work, his sketches, as well as his finished architect's drawings. Everything was very, very specifically designed for a purpose. You wanted the north light for the animators' rooms, and you want things like that.
Yeah.
But it's
thoughtful.
Very
really thoughtful.
Yeah, and very much of its time. They've added new buildings since then, but they haven't thrown anything down.
And the buildings that they add fit in. They don't look like eyesores. I don't love that the new it's not new anymore, but the really, really big one when you come in on the left, that's like more wooden. I don't love it, but it's also not terrible.
Yeah.
Like they didn't just smack something down and go here. But it is a blast. And my favorite thing will always be the building that has the 7 dwarves on it, which you can see from the street. You don't have to go in. You can see them from the street. And at Christmas, they put a Santa hat on Dopey, which is like, it's the way it's that time of year when I see Dopey has his hat.
Apparently, Michael Eisner, when he was running the company, Michael Eisner was an architecture buff.
Huh.
And that's why.
So there's something he likes. It's good to know.
And that's why he gave free reign, not free reign, but gave an opportunity for leading figures in the field to come up with sometimes whimsical ideas, like the Seven Dwarfs holding up this building.
Yeah.
I mean, and
the sorcerer's hat on the other side in the animation building. It's one of the best things. You can see it from the freeway, which I also really enjoy.
Friends of mine who work for Disney, not animation, but doing television shows and all that live action stuff, said if there was ever a less whimsical group of people to work with, it was people in the dwarf building. But it's just the way it goes.
It is what it is, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You want to see Disney Studios in Burbank, and it's baby steps. See The Reluctant Dragon.
That's right.
Robert Benchley. Well, if you don't know Aiden, my dad loves Robert Benchley. He doesn't just enjoy, he loves Robert Benchley. He's one of, if there was a top 5, I think that he'd be somewhere in there for you.
Oh yeah.
Big fan.
Absolutely.
Big fan. Yeah, something I do appreciate is that Disney is one of the only studios that has some of these, again, like when you see the Sorcerer's hat, it makes you smile every single time. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can look it up online, the Disney Animation Building in Burbank.
Which they renamed for Roy E. Disney.
Yes.
Which was a very appropriate tribute.
When you're going to walk in, there's a giant Sorcerer's hat, Sorcerer Mickey hat. It just makes me happy that they still have things like that. It's like going to the Fox lot, which in general is not the most beautiful lot, but they have giant murals of different films there. There's a huge Star Wars one. And it's just, to me, it's nice to remind anybody walking in that that's where you are. It should be fun.
And the Fox lot has a wide variety. They have the Oxbow incident. And they have the 7-Year Itch, I think, with Marilyn Monroe and Tom Ewell.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
As I say, this is all supposed to be fun, and it's meant to be creative. And so when you walk into a space, that's what you want to feel. You want to feel that kind of a joy. It's what, we talked about the Academy Museum, especially the first floor is, I don't know what they were thinking. And it's part of why we recommend you going to the Hollywood Museum.
Where they just opened the Marx Brothers.
Yes. And the first part of that is just the building is the old Max Factor building. So it's a fantastic building to look at. We love architecture.
If you just went into the Max Factor Museum.
Yeah.
It's a museum within the museum.
Yeah.
It was his showroom. And if you don't know the name, was... his name is synonymous with makeup.
Yeah.
He was one of the inventors of modern day makeup, as well as screen makeup.
Mm-hmm.
He
waterproof. Basically a lot of waterproofing came from him. Mm-hmm. How to keep makeup on, whether it's in water or just under lights.
And then he had a blonde room, a brunette room,
and a
redhead room.
And they're painted different colors because it was what would suit your coloring the best. So yeah, the building itself is a great old building. It's wonderful to look at. I say we love architecture, and it's fun just to see that. And when you walk in, it is the same as it was. It's kind of, I have found that younger people can struggle with it a little bit only because it looks old, which is how it's supposed to look because it's old. But it's not flashy. It's just fantastic. Yeah. And Danelle Dadigan, who owns it, cares so deeply and collects these things because she wants people to have the opportunity to see them.
She has acquired an amazing assortment.
Yeah.
I use that word, assortment of movie memorabilia, all kinds.
Because you'll have stuff that's current. They'll have on display. I remember one of the first times you filmed there, they had a Juno. They had costumes from all of the Best Picture nominees.
Yeah.
Because you filmed there and they got an Oscar out for you.
And they usually have mannequins.
Yep.
And TV monitors.
Yeah.
Running loops.
So you have current stuff. It's not just older. But it's just really neat to see everything on display and loved and kept because someone has to. Someone has to care for these things. Otherwise, they're gone. And so I'm grateful that she does it, and I'm grateful that she does it with such love and care.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Exactly.
Ken says, Leonard Maltin, not flashy, just fantastic. Thank you, Ken.
I'll take the compliment.
I will go with that.
Very much. I was supposed to speak at the opening night of the Marx Brothers exhibit.
But then that leg.
Yeah, and then
that leg of his.
That infection there.
That leg of his.
No fun.
I'll tell you.
But Bill Marx,
mm-hmm.
Harpo's son,
mm-hmm.
Harpo's devoted son,
mm-hmm.
and Andy Marx, Groucho's grandson, was there. And I was told it was really good, great turnout, and a lot of good material.
Yeah.
Bob Satterfield, who is a master at finding memorabilia and location work and all of that, had a big hand in that. So bravo to all of them, and I hope to get there soon.
Yeah. Comic-Con, if you were asking questions about Comic-Con, we've been going, we realized, since about 2007. And it's crazy to think that it's been that long. We've been doing our panel for several years. I don't know anymore how long. It's probably 7 or 8 years.
Something like
it's
that.
A while. But for me, when people ask us what we like best about Comic-Con, we don't tend to go to panels unless you're on them or friends of ours are doing them and we want to go see. Because it's a lot. Everything at Comic-Con, I mean, any of these cons, you're waiting in line. You're waiting in line, you're waiting in line, you're waiting in line. It's a lot. And I have a great deal of respect for the people that go and do this because it takes an immense amount of patience. But everybody is so excited to be there. And in general, people are really nice.
They're friendly and they're polite, which is not 2 words I would guess you'd find at a comic book convention, or what is ostensibly a comic book convention.
Yeah.
But I was in a wheelchair this time, and snaking your way through crowds in a wheelchair is no.
I had my mother with a walker, my father that I was pushing in a wheelchair, and my daughter who was either walking with us or in her stroller. We need a train is the conclusion I came to. You know how I told you guys I needed to get a sidecar for the wheelchair so I could put Daisy next to my dad? No. Better idea, get a train. I'm going to put mommy in one car, then you, then Daisy, and I'm just going to pull the 3 of you along. We could make it look very cool for Comic-Con. Someone would think it was good. We love seeing everything. That, for us, is the joy. It is as chaotic as it is, and it is chaotic. If you don't have a mission, like if you're just going to wander, it's a blast. I can't imagine trying to get places because it takes a while.
Yeah.
But if you are able to just walk around, it is so much fun to see the cosplay.
Plus this year, the weather.
Oh God, I could have kissed the sky.
Perfect.
Some year, because it's in San Diego, which is very, very Southern California, the bottom. And it's by the water. It can be really muggy and also get really hot. And some years when it is 90 degrees and humid as hell, you just feel like you're going to die. This year, we so lucked out, and I was so grateful, especially because I was pushing my dad in a wheelchair, that it wasn't too warm. We got very, very lucky with the weather.
Yesterday, you convinced your mother to try a motor scooter.
I apologize to all the people she hit, but it was much safer. Much better to put Alice on a scooter because she couldn't get lost as easily. But for us, it really is the cosplay that people do, which if you don't know that term, it's costume play. People get dressed up and people spend so much time on their costumes. They go all out.
Yep.
And, a lot of them plan it the whole year leading in. Some of them have different ones for each day. It's really amazing to see how passionate they are. And then, of course, it's also really funny because then as they're asking for photos of my dad, I posted a picture, this couple dressed as Legos, like human-sized Legos, went, "Oh, Leonard Maltin, I'm such a huge fan." And I took a picture for them with my dad. And then I took a photo of my dad with these 2 gigantic Legos. That's part of what's so funny. I have a picture of you with this guy who had a unicorn head on and a smoking jacket from a few years ago. I loved that. There was a guy dressed as Chef. I took a picture. That's another one from years ago. It was so funny. It's just it is just wild. We don't usually buy very much. It's not necessarily stuff we would buy. My husband does. It's one of the few times my husband goes to town because he is a comic book nerd. But yeah, mostly it's just walking around and looking at everything and the really cool setups that some of the companies do. Fantastic Four.
Elaborate, almost beyond description.
Yeah.
Some of them are I mean, you have to think in 3D.
Yeah.
You have to conceptualize these areas. What would you call them? Environments, I guess, would be the right word, because you're going to take a 20-foot square unit of measurement.
Yeah.
And you're going to either build things that go up high, or that go out to the side, or that have a spotlight shining on them to make them stand out.
Yeah.
And there's,
do you remember back in the days of when The Walking Dead, when that show was still on, they'd build these gigantic prisons and they'd have zombies everywhere. And you'd be walking and suddenly you were face to face with a zombie. That was always a trip. Very few boats this year. Some years there's a bunch of boats being used for events. This year, very few. When Daisy and I walked down, there was nothing. But yeah, it's everybody. I would say one of the best displays was Fantastic Four this year. They did a really great job. Yeah. Very, very cool looking whole setup there. We always love wandering around looking at the stuff from Dark Horse. If my dad's going to buy anything, it's going to be a figurine from Dark Horse or one of those companies that make such cool little figures that are unique. There's one though what was the one that you saw last year that never actually came out? Do you remember?
The comic book spinner.
No. It was a person. I can't remember who it was anymore, but I looked for months and it never actually came out. It's the same thing with, there's a Bluey figure that I saw that I want for myself. And they said, oh, it should be out in November, December. And I was like, you mean I have to remember to keep checking your website till November? No. But yeah, we see so much cool stuff.
And good people. We run into people we haven't seen.
Oh yeah, we see a lot of our friends, but mostly it's a blast just sort of being out there. Yeah, Jerry Beck is always there, of course. Jerry's always there. And they have a blast. And as I say, it's a really, really neat place to be. And people are so excited. We actually even went on the floor yesterday, which normally Saturday is the craziest day and we tend not to go on the floor, but we just felt like it. So we did.
There are days there have been years when on Saturday,
you can't move. you can't even get inside.
You look at the aisle in front of you, pondering whether to go in, if even to attempt to go in. When I'm reminded of 5 o'clock rush hour on the
subway,
#1 train in New York City and the subway. Boy, it gets really dense, but we didn't have too much of
this year was not bad. Mm-hmm. And again, when you're trying to keep a hold of an Alice, a Leonard, and a Daisy, it is a sport to keep track of everybody. But yeah, I love the creativity. And it's just so much fun to see what everybody wants to do and gets out there for. Obviously Hall H is a big one. If you're familiar, Hall H is where they do sort of the really big announcements. That's the place for that. And so it is fun to see people saying, oh my God, we just saw, this actor, that actor on stage and they were thrilled. That's, I say the whole thing, it's fun and it's crazy. And I'm glad that we went and I'm proud of you because you pushed and I know it was hard, but you did it.
And your daughter got to meet R2-D2.
She did. She met a bunch of robots and was very excited about it. Droids, forgive me before someone yells at me. Droids. That's my favorite again, in terms of watching what people make, I love when you see all the different sort of creations that they come up with. And I also love the faces of the people controlling them, because sometimes the people controlling them are having a blast and other times they look like they want to be anywhere else. And you think, then why did you bring this giant robot somewhere if you didn't want people to look at it? But yeah, as I say, it's just so neat. And it's not something that I would think of us doing, but the truth is now it's something that we look forward to. As chaotic as it is, we very much look forward to it.
Yes, we do.
Daisy says she wants to dress up next year. So maybe I'll dress you up as Prince Charming because she wants to be a princess.
Girl who's 3.5, very bright 3.5.
Thank you.
Very unusually tall 3.5.
Very tall.
But it's her 3rd Comic-Con.
Yeah.
She's been to 3 of them. She doesn't remember very much.
Nothing.
If anything.
She doesn't remember they exist, no.
But she had a good time.
She, she was upset with me because she goes, why am I not wearing a princess dress? Because people were all dressed up. And I said, for next year, I promise you, we will find a princess dress. But she then said, it's like, but we all have to dress up. So I'm hoping that next year, if she's still into it, we'll all dress up. As I say, people are really kind, even to the kids. Doug's saying that lack of studio bling kept the floor subdued, still crowded. Yeah, absolutely possible. Because there wasn't as much of that kind of stuff. Again, it's you kind of just have to go in with the mentality of, as I say, of just like, I'm going to enjoy this.
Well, I consciously avoided it for a long time because I worried that it would be full of
crazy people
and annoying people, and
it is, but no,
they're there. But in fact, first time I went down, it was hard to go there to do a meet and greet thing for some cable TV consortium or something.
I feel like Todd Newton was there.
I don't think so.
I think he was.
Well, anyway,
go on, yeah.
So the family and I went, and we had this wonderful time. And thought, gee, why have we been dodging this?
No.
My oldest friend, Louis Black, was in on the earliest New York Comic-Cons put on by Phil Suling and people like that. And I did avoid those and continue to avoid those because I felt I had enough screwballs and oddballs in my life.
And you do.
In my circle of acquaintance.
And you do. You definitely do.
I didn't have to add to that.
Yes.
So.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
But no, as I say, you really kind of get inspired. People are so creative and having such a good time. And I do love seeing the families dressed up together. Seeing the family cosplays are just so much fun. Nick is asking who Daisy's favorite princess is. Well, she still doesn't really, she's not into movies and she's not into watching a lot, but she likes just princesses in general. She's learned to so Ariel and Cinderella are my favorite. And I think that because I have a lot of that stuff, she's probably leaning towards those, but she just likes princesses. They make her happy. And why not? Patrick's saying San Diego was kind of a long walk for me. That's why I settle for the ones in Long Beach, LA, and Pasadena. Absolutely. There's all these different cons, and now they're everywhere. The cons are absolutely everywhere. And I am amazed to see people go everywhere. And again, I think it's people really want community. People really want to have that feeling of community. They want to be around people who love what they love. Again, it's like going to a film festival or anything like that. You're around people who are they want to be there.
Someone's asking about American Graffiti and reminding me and everyone else around that without American Graffiti, there'd be no Star Wars.
Yeah.
Which that's a long tail.
Yeah.
Long tail behind that.
Somebody was telling me today there's a panel, and I think it's with George. I think George Lucas is on it, and it's talking about his museum. That's today.
The George Lucas Museum of Narrative Art.
Yeah.
Which is going to open, I think, next year.
Yeah. In theory, we'll see.
I did host at the Academy I think 20th year American Graffiti gathering with George and Charlie Martin Smith and several other cast members. And it was a really nice evening.
And that was the first time I saw it. I saw it properly. First time I got to see it on screen.
It was a really nice evening because everybody has happy memories of making that film. It was they had their troubles and
everybody,
along the way, but it turned out so well and turned out to be such a hit. Francis Coppola had to lay it on the line, both personally and financially, that if this kid, George Lucas, couldn't come through, couldn't deliver, couldn't make his shooting day, that Francis would step in and get the job done or put up the cash to get the job done. He didn't need to do
those things. Isn't that crazy?
He was the shadow producer of that film.
Yeah. I like this. So Arthur's saying, who are your favorite comic book characters, Leonard? And since we're in my dad's office and we haven't been able to do show and tell because he hasn't been able to really move around to show you, I'm going to grab some things.
Grab Sylvester's there.
I was going to grab. So, again, Warner Brothers store.
Now, this may have been licensed out to Target or some indie manufacturer, but it's a perfect rendering of Sylvester the cat.
And he is a remote control holder. And this little part here where you put the remote says, I taught a putty tat, which just brings me an immense amount of joy.
And he's made out of vinyl.
I know, by the way, I know these are not comic book characters, but they're just fantastic and should be shared.
And here's a feather duster whose feathers are the Roadrunner. You know, the Roadrunner. Oh, they made it official this week that the feature film Coyote versus Acme will be released theatrically on August 28th.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not going to wind up in permanent limbo.
Now, what happened to her feet, you may ask? The answer is Daisy. But if you want to know some of our favorite comic book characters,
Lulu and Tubby.
Lulu and Tubby are always a good time.
These are bisque, highly breakable.
Highly breakable, as Daisy found out.
Yes, and her first visit to my office.
That's right, first visit to the office, and Daisy said, "Oh, I like them."
In the first half minute of her first visit.
Oh, I like them. Hang on.
Yes, I, you know, my interests and my pursuits, you know, go far and wide. I don't have the cloth parts of these dolls, but it's just such a nice rendering of Tootie and Muldoon from Car 54, Where Are You? I can't help but like them and keep them around. That's Fred Gwynn and Joe E. Ross from the brilliant Nat Hiken comedy. And I had the pleasure of singing the theme song out loud with Gilbert Gottfried
at Fantastic Fest in Austin.
Yeah.
My dad loves Felix.
Yeah,
and all things
I
Felix.
like Felix the cat a lot. And this is the Dark Horse reimagining of the Sirocco figure that came out in the early 40s. And this is from the 20s. This jointed figure is
he's
from
a bit
the
of
20s.
a fragile little guy.
Yeah.
But you love Felix. You have a lot of Felix stuff. 1 second.
Felix was very popular. There's Oswald. There's the reconstituted Disney Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Of course, wound up being a Walter Lantz figure of little to no interest.
Oh, she's really on there. No. Daisy May is stuck.
Oh.
Daisy May is stuck.
Daisy May is stuck. Not for the first time.
No. We love Lil Abner.
I helped teach Jessie to read by reading her the reprints of Al Cap's Little Abner comic strips, which they put out in horizontal
big
books,
really big books
that were shaped like the Sunday Funnies, and it was wonderful to go page after page and have her gradually recognize the characters and their expressions and their colloquialisms in Dogpatch USA. That was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And if you're a child and you need a toothbrush holder and it's 1947, you might turn to that ceramic.
You might say, hey, Woody Woodpecker, can you hold my toothbrush for me? A lot of stuff I'm trying to pick up is stuck so hard to the desk, which is good.
Yes, here in earthquake country, we've learned not to take too many chances. You can't glue everything down, and I don't want to glue everything down.
But you can try.
But well, this was done by our young friend Colin Epstein when he was just really learning to sculpt. Now he sculpts digitally.
Mm-hmm. But my dad loves Fleischer. We have a lot of Betty Boop, all kinds of Betty Boop.
I'm sorry to hear the Boop Broadway musical closed.
Yeah.
my friend Jerry Beck really liked it a lot. And I saw pictures of the sets, and I saw a picture of the little puppet they used for Pudgy. It looked like it had promise. And I'm sorry that it didn't pan out.
I think that's everything I can
run.
pull off
Okay.
without it breaking.
Okay.
I mean, we could end, not a comic book so much, but
this is not any Mouseketeer hat.
no. As if we Maltins would have just any Mouseketeer hat. No, sir. This was, oh, you're tilting it. Do you know who tilted theirs to the side?
No.
Your father. My grandpa would always tilt his hat just slightly, and he had a stroke later in his life. And if I was going to put his hat on for him, he would always say, just tilt it a little bit, tilt it. This was gifted to him by the Mouseketeers when he was made an honorary Mouseketeer.
By Bobby Burgess.
Bobby Burgess.
Mouseketeer Bobby.
Which, if you're going to get Mouseketeered, solid person to be Mouseketeered by. But yeah, we have, obviously it's my dad's office. It's full of things and stuff. We go up as high as we can on these walls, as much as possible on the walls. There's stuff everywhere. This spot is where we do our podcast from.
Mm-hmm.
And so
interviews
it's always funny to have people asking about the stuff behind us, and not what I'd call your typical office, let's say.
My wife has the theory that they all come to life at night.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
I cannot work in a vacuum. I can't work in an antiseptic.
I can't take you seriously.
Antiseptic room.
No.
No matter how high tech.
And God forbid you be able to put anything down anywhere.
And I also can never sign a letter
on your desk.
On my desk. My desk is full of stuff.
No, could never do that. Again, we like being around stuff that makes us happy.
Yes.
There's worse things. Craig says, I enjoyed the Jurassic Park episode of the Movie Guide podcast. Keep them coming.
You.
Thank you, Craig. I'm so glad you're liking his show. They're recording again, doing new episodes. And that's the Movie Guide podcast with Maltin and Davis. Our show we've not recorded because he's been out of commission, but we're going to do an episode this week, just sort of recapping everything that's been happening, and hopefully start to record with guests again as they come through. Part of the thing of when you are working with talent is you'll say yes to a bunch of different people, and then you won't hear from the publicist till perhaps a day before. And they go, can you do tomorrow at 4:30 a.m.? And you go, no, I sure can't. So the waiting game can be hard, but
but we're going to get back in the game.
Yep.
And we have like 8 years.
Yeah, there's a lot of episodes there.
On movies online for free.
Yep.
So if you want to hear us with Mel Brooks or the late great Angela Lansbury, or contemporary people like Amy Adams,
mm-hmm.
or
Tim Burton, Patton Oswalt.
Yep.
All kinds, really.
Vince Vaughn.
All kinds.
All sorts.
So you
of people,
listen to them,
including the one that we did most recently with Frank Oz. 1 hour.
It's not the most recent.
Well, not recent, but I mean.
That's last year. That's last March, which is crazy.
We had an hour with Frank Oz.
Who was a blast.
Mesmerizing.
Any chance of doing a special Movie Guide episode of this year's inductees of the Library of Congress, National Film Registry? We should do that on our show.
Well, if I like the...
That's what I mean. You got to see it first, and then we'll know.
I voted in that. I voted for that, in that, on that, of that.
Yeah.
For 20, 25 years.
A long time.
And one time I had a little cabal with Bruce Goldstein of Film Forum, and I forget who else, where we pushed for silent movies, because I think a lot of members of the very august panel of people who vote for the National Film Registry don't have an acquaintance with silent film. That's, it's no crime, but they're just...
I can't help it. Sorry.
So we tried to hold up that end of things.
Yeah. But here we are. We will see you next week, friends. We'll see you next Sunday.
Rested.
Yeah.
Rested.
Hopefully even better.
Full of beans.
Hopefully even better. That foot, though, it is healing. Thank goodness. We are lucky that you are healing. Leonard is on the mend. right? Thank you guys. We love being with you. We're sorry we're tired from Comic-Con, but didn't want to miss a Sunday. So we'll see you next week.
Be kind.